It's a bit of a paradox. There's a 2-year lag to feel the effects of economic policies. Trump takes credit for Biden's success for 2 years. Blue wave in the midterm takes the blame for all of his failures for the next 2 years. That is very possible. If there is any one thing that I could teach to the American voter, it's that things in government take a long time to enact most of the time. If there's a policy that you absolutely hate, chances are pretty good that it took years for this to start getting enacted. Now granted, there are exceptions to these rules, like if there is aid needed for natural disasters, that happens pretty fast most of the time. Or if Trump is able to deport hundreds of thousands of people because he declared martial law on his first week in office, that's something that's immediate. But things like the economy, that usually moves very slowly unless something horrible happens, like whenever COVID first hit. Things like slowing inflation or trying to get government regulations to stop price gouging, yeah, that's going to take a while. But if there is another thing that I can teach the American electorate, it's that historically the American president does not have as much power as you think. Throughout most of history, most presidents tried to be as bipartisan as possible. Republican presidents would have Democrats on staff and vice versa. But what Trump wants to do is completely different than any president has ever done before. He wants to fire everybody beneath him and install loyalists. A move like that does not in any way unite the country. That's what dictators do. He's trying to consolidate as much power as possible to the presidency while also trying to deflect as much blame away from him for anything that goes wrong. This time, we need to hold his feet to the fire. This time, any wrongdoing from the Republican side, we need to roast them on a regular basis. Don't roll your eyes and just let some things slide. You need to point out to all your Republican voter friends, neighbors, family, whatever, that this is on them. You don't like that there's no food in the grocery store or that your maid got deported? You voted for that. You don't like seeing armed military in the streets? You voted for that. You're really upset because everything costs so much more now that these tariffs are in place? Always remind them that we tried to warn you and they didn't listen. Yeah, it's going to start to feel mean after a while, but it's the only way they are going to learn. Trying to be caring towards them or empathetic towards them does not work. They'll just gladly take your empathy and then spit in your face. The only way they're going to learn is if they are actually bullied for their support for that cult. And I realize we didn't ask for this. We don't want to be this way. But we don't really have many other options at this point. If the only thing that they understand is anger and force, that's what you're going to have to use. Those are the tools in your bag now. And always remind them that we tried to do this the kind way. But when we did, you called us libtard snowflakes. You called us groomers and pedos for absolutely no reason. So now it's their turn to open their mouths and catch our shit. Okay, when that came out, I didn't realize it was going to sound like that, but I'm going to roll with it.